intentionally made February the month where I decided I wanted to lose all of my subscribers by doing really controversial content, because this is the third video in a row that I'm having some opinions about things that I don't think are gonna go over well. But you clicked on this and you read the title, and I'm sure the title is something like Popular Books I Haven't Read. So we're gonna talk about popular books that I haven't read. And some of them is just like, I haven't gotten to them yet. And some of them is like, I have no intention of reading them and I really don't see the hype. Number one is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I have every intention of reading this book. This book has been on my TBR for a long time and it just keeps getting pushed back in place of other books, and I don't really know why. I do want to read it. I know it's like amazing and everything, but I did the same thing with The Hate You Give. Actually, I didn't read that for a long time, and then all of a sudden one day I was just like, I need to read this book. I think the movie was coming out or something. I was like, I need to read this book. It's one of my favorite books ever. Like, it's so good. So I know that Children of Blood and Bone is going to be great. I know that. I just haven't read it yet. The next one is kind of a twofer. It is the Six of Crows duology in the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. Now, I love Leigh Bardugo. She is a goth queen, and we stan. But I just haven't read any of her books yet. Again, it's one of those things where Six of Crows has been on my TBR for a while, keeps getting pushed to the wayside. I did pick up Language of Thorns randomly at my library one day, which I guess is a storybook companion to like her Grisha-verse books, but I didn't understand it because I hadn't read any of the books, so I didn't care about it. But I do want to read the books. It just doesn't seem quite in my wheelhouse of things that I usually like to read, so I just keep kind of pushing it off. I think it's probably the same thing as Children of Blood and Bone, where I'm like, I know I need to read that. It's good, obviously. They're making a TV show about it, but I'm like, I'll get to it eventually. The next popular book I haven't read is more like popular author I haven't read. I have not read a single thing by J Maas, and I don't intend to. Doesn't interest me in the slightest. Elves and assassins and shit, none of that interests me. There's very polarizing opinions on J Maas. Usually I wouldn't care about opinions, but it just doesn't seem like anything I'm gonna be into, and I just don't ever really see myself reaching for these books. And if you like them, that's great. I'm happy for you that you found something that you like to read. Opinions are subjective. The next one's probably also gonna get me like beheaded in the YA Twitter community, but I haven't read The Cruel Prince or The Wicked King by Holly Black. Again, something that I will get to eventually. Not something I would usually reach for, but something that I've heard all the hype about and I'm kind of curious about. But just haven't read it. Don't know if I'll like it, honestly. Like those types of books are just not for me. Here's some books that you probably think I'd be into, but I really hate. And it's the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. I could go on all day about why these books suck, but I'll link in the cards or the description a 5-part series by a girl on YouTube called The Authentic Observer that pretty much sums everything up perfectly of why I don't like these books. They're very popular, obviously, and I understand that people like them, and that's great, but I don't. I'm not one of them. This next one is embarrassing for me. It's the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I have every intention of trying to read these this year because I want to write a middle grade series in the same vein as like this and Harry Potter. So I need to read books like that so that I can, you know, understand the genre a little bit better. I just never got around to it. I read some of the first book when I was about that age. Probably a little bit older. I don't know how old those books are. I'm 24 almost, so I don't know when I read the first Percy Jackson, but I know I did not finish it. But I definitely think I want to revisit that series because, again, I want to write something similar, and that's sort of like the textbook middle grade fantasy series. So yeah. The next one that I haven't read is the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. And I haven't read this because the covers are cool, okay? But again, it's one of those things of like, it should interest me in some ways, like the blood is powerful and obviously like I don't know. Kingdoms and stuff just don't do it for me. Like, I don't know what it is about, like, royal intrigue and conspiracy in the castle. I don't care. I just don't care. And I know they're good books. I just don't care. The next one shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody if you've been following me for a while, but this is a twofer again. I have never read Mockingjay or Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. I did not finish The Hunger Games. I stopped when, spoiler alert, Rue died. I had no interest in finishing that book once a 12-year-old girl died. I saw the movie, and I did not need to read on anymore. I don't like dystopian. I've talked about this too. If you've been following me for a while, you know I don't like dystopian. There's not really much to be said about it. I just don't like the bleakness of it. They all kind of feel the same to me. The whole dystopian genre, much like the elf fantasy genre that was very popular right now, can go kick rocks for me. I'm just not gonna ever like it. So with that being said, feel free to flame me in the comments because I insulted your favorite book of all time. Tell me what books that are super popular that you have never read. Let me know which ones you've never read, that you have no interest in reading, that everyone loves, but you just don't care. And in the meantime, I make videos every Saturday, and I will see you guys next Saturday with something a little less controversial, I hope. Bye.